All right, we are back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you with the GSMC Sports Network. Let's go and jump on into our second segment. We got our AEW Dynamite review. Obviously, from the beginning of Dynamite, you saw the Hurt Syndicate opened up the show, which was fitting because you're trying to, get a lot of these superstars that MVPs bring it in, Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley. I feel like they do need one more critical piece, but obviously MVP said, if I hand you that card, guess what, guys? You better take it. Or like Swerve Strickland, if you're trying to push against it, it's not going to end. It's not going to end well. So from the beginning of the promo, you saw MVP kick Tony Schiavone outside of the ring. He announced Shelton Benjamin and Bobby Lashley, and he was saying that they're here to enrich the younger talents in terms of AEW, CMLL, New Japan Professional Wrestling, and Stardom. They want to promote those younger talents. And once again, if you accept the card, you accept change that's going to be better for you. If you decline, then basically you're going to become like Swerve Strickland. Swerve came out immediately, which was kind of funny because you saw that, I heard that fan from AEW Dynamite once when they were talking. It was like, who's house? And then all of a sudden, like, who? And then the music played. I thought that was actually pretty badass. I definitely like that spot. That the fan called it. The fan knew that when Spurs Strickland was going to come in. The only thing that kind of bothered me, though, I gotta be honest, is that it wasn't really made such a big deal. Like, I gotta be honest, when Spurs Strickland was like, Bobby Lashley, full gear, like, what I mean, I like, dude, okay, that's cool. Like, I get it, that's cool. But at the same time, the fans are kind of like, what I mean? Like, I felt like they didn't really know how to respond. I felt like they were kind of like lost or like, ooh, yeah, like, what I mean? It wasn't much of a projection as it was to a reaction. But I felt like a match like this, Bobby Lashley taking on Swerve Strickland, the fans in the crowd should have been absolutely freaking bonkers. But it did not wind up that way, which is kind of rubbed me the wrong way. I was kind of like, really, really, that kind of sucks. But overall, Swerve Strickland, challenges Bobby Lashley for a match at Full Gear. Orange Cassidy teams up with Darby Allin, taking on Claudio Castagnoli and the Bastard Pack of the Death Riders. I think Death Riders, right? Darby Allin's entrance was pretty badass. Orange Cassidy was able to kind of reel them in, Pack and Claudio. And of course, from the top of the stage, you saw, obviously it wasn't, the hook coming down from the Raptors. It was Darby Allin coming out with a splash from the entrance board, and he killed it. I thought it was pretty badass. And that Darby Allin spot where, you saw Claudio Castagnoli pick him up, had him in that military press, and threw him toward that top ring, to turnbuckle or the post. And it's, oh my God, it looks so bad. Oh my God. That's something that fans actually do love 1,010% in terms of professional wrestling. Obviously, I can't really shy away from it too much because I'm like, dude, I thought that was actually pretty cool. But and then after the match, it ended in no contest, which sucked. Orange Cassidy got mugged at the end of the day. You saw, Wheeler Yuta come out and attack. Darby Allin, brought out his skateboard. The Conglomeration came out at the end of the day to save Cassidy. And you saw John Moxley and the Death Riders kind of run out of the ring. And, you saw that was that. Ricochet in the back was approached by the Hurt Syndicate. Obviously, he was approached earlier, kind of talking about, hey, dude, you could be a part of this if you really, really want to. And that's just something that it's hard for Ricochet. It's hard for him to be like, oh, I came from somebody from WWE, came from nothing really to something. WWE didn't really, handle his character all that well. So this is what he's going to do. This is what he has to do. And, I feel like him, associating himself with this Her Syndicate is going to be amazing for, AEW, Tony Khan's promotions. It's going to be good for their TV ratings. So I feel like this should be something that comes in fruition. But that's just my opinion. Next, we saw a fight without honor match. The Conglomeration defeat the Learning Tree, and Jericho was pinned. I love Chris Jericho. Obviously, I'm a WWE guy, but he just looks so he looks so out of shape. He just looks so done with it. I hated that he defeated Mark Briscoe for that Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Championship because you had so many other viable options, so many possible options that could have been so much better. I would have took Roderick Strong over the leader of the Learning Tree, Chris Jericho. I would have took Roderick Strong. I would have took back in, I think it was like 4 or 5 months ago, Kyle Fletcher for the Death Before Dishonor. I think that's what it was. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But I was like, dude, like instead you have him lose it against Chris Jericho. Like I get that Chris Jericho was kind of like a walking, breathing you know, um, promo machine. Like, I get it. Like, I understand. But when he's inside the squared circle, it just, I don't know, it just doesn't look right. I feel like Mark Briscoe was, obviously he was screwed. Obviously, on Dynamite in that Ladders of Hell match, you had Big Bill carry Chris Jericho to the top of that ladder for him to retrieve that title. And it's just all bad. It's just all bad. I don't know how long Ring of Honor, or well, should I say, Tony Khan had the title on Chris Jericho, but it shouldn't be that long. It should not be that long because right now, and I hate it, and I'm a huge wrestling, I'm an attitude era kind of guy in WWF. It's just right now, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't belong, and when you're a wrestling fan, when you see things like that, you're kind of like, why? But you know what I mean? But at the end of the day, maybe that's a big ass maybe. Maybe there's some thought behind it. Maybe there's some, reason. Maybe there's a bigger storyline that maybe I'm not, able to wrap my head around because maybe I'm a little emotional because I've become a huge fan of Mark Briscoe. And I'm kind of like, man, this is kind of stupid. But at the end of the day, you saw Tomohiro Ishii, pin Chris Jericho. And I don't know, it was kind of crazy. In our promo, you saw John Moxley talking to the camera, talking about, Wheeler Yuta, talking about AEW as a whole, all the young stars as well as the old stars. He said, and I quote, stop playing at the thing stop playing at the thing that you might think that you take seriously. Something that obviously is a lot of things that maybe some people do in wrestling, some people do in like a personal daily life, like where there's somebody that's actually working hard, busting their ass, and then you kind of have this, what John Moxley is saying. What he's saying in that promo is that you have a whole bunch of pretenders on AEW that don't really share the same passion that he does, and by that means that's the reason why he keeps attacking people. That's the reason why he feels like he has to kind of weed out the naysayers, has to weed out the pretenders, so to speak. And it's awesome. It's awesome. Who in the world is better at John Moxley than in-ring wrestling styles, promos? He's the best. I feel like right now in terms of professional wrestling, he is the best. And I'm happy to say that he is the best because he is the best. Next, we have Adam Cole defeated Malakai Black. I definitely love 1,010% that you still have that boom or that Adam Cole, baby. I love that from WWE. I know that that's where it originated from. But you couldn't have him lose that. That's kind of something that kind of that's in his bag of tricks. That's something that he performs that so he's able to kind of get the wrestling universe on his side. I thought that was pretty badass. It was a great match. It was all in all a great match. I love matches that end with hugs between professional wrestlers because at the end of the day, you kind of shake each other's hands. You're like, this is respect. You beat the hell out of me, I beat the crap out of you, but at the end of the day, this is what happened. You were the better man at this day and age. And I feel like it was great. Malachi Black, I don't know his future with AEW, but there's been speculations that he's going to go back to WWE, that he is going to become a free agent, but obviously time will only tell. Also, once when you were kind of hearing Adam Cole at the end of he was having his story time moment. I don't understand why you had Adam Cole going out there talking like this was like his, kind of like talking like was his retirement tour. Like I was kind of like, okay, where's this guy going with this? And then he was talking about MJF. MJF was talking about, he was talking on the phone. You're gonna have, MJF with Roderick Strong and Adam Cole in a triple threat match. I'm not too sure if something's gonna come out of that. Just based on my knowledge of professional wrestling. Maybe you had Roderick Strong and the Undisputed Kingdom ever since you saw Adam Cole being absent from AEW. Maybe they found a leader within MJF, and they're like, you know what, you were gone for so long, and now we're gonna help this guy win, and that's basically how he wins. Next, we had Switchblade Jay White in a promo. He was attacked by not Adam Page, yeah, Adam Page. Chris Statlander seems confident in a promo. She was, ran over by Mercedes Moné. Thought that was kind of crazy. Christian Cage approves Kip Sabian addresses Hook, being like, nobody cares if Taz was alive. Um, I wish your father was dead. Wishing for more sons. Kind of crazy. Kind of crazy. It was clear at the end of the episode, you saw it was MJF who called to Don Callis Family. Jamie Hayter defeated Penelope Cruz in a less than 5 minute match, which was kind of bad. Mina Shirakawa is going to be at Dynamite. Konosuke Takeshita teaming up with Kyle Fletcher of the Don Callis Family, lost against Ricochet and his mystery tag team partner, Powerhouse Hobbs. Mark Davis got involved. Then you saw Lance Archer and Brian Cage. Will Ospreay came out, of course, to everybody's chagrin, to a total surprise. I thought that was pretty badass. Out of the Wednesday battle, we saw WWE have a viewer of 619,000 with the demographic of, the 18 and 40 to 49 was, 0.17 to AEW's Dynamite, 523,000 to demographic or whatever you call it, 18 to 49 of 0.16. Honestly, that's not bad. That's not much of a discrepancy. I feel like AEW shouldn't really, pull their head low. But that's actually pretty impressive. All right, guys. So hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to talk about Ring of Honor and TNA when we come back. So hey, do not go anywhere.